The first time Jake Harper saw Anna Summers, he was 14, standing in the noisy cafeteria line on his first day of high school. She was magnetic, with her effortless laugh and warm smile, surrounded by friends who clearly adored her. She was the type of girl who, in movies, floated down hallways like the wind herself was an accessory, while Jake stumbled along all awkward elbows and knobby knees. Over the next 2 years, Jake admired her from a distance. He watched her ace exams, win debates, and charm everyone with ease. Jake was not without merit. He was smart, driven, and surprisingly witty when he allowed himself to speak up in his small circle of friends. But Jake had always been more comfortable flying under the radar, and that was what he did best. By his junior year, he couldn't ignore it anymore. He was head over heels for Anna. His friends tried to discourage him, knowing the dynamics of high school well enough to anticipate how things might go. But Jake was tired of the what-ifs. So, gathering every ounce of courage, he decided to ask her to the homecoming dance. One afternoon after calculus, he saw his chance. She was chatting with her friends outside the classroom, radiant as ever. Heart pounding, he approached her, managing a shaky, "Hey, Anna, could I talk to you for a sec?" Her friends exchanged looks, barely containing their amusement, as she obliged him with a polite, if slightly bemused smile. "Sure, Jake, what's up?" I I was wondering if you'd like to go to homecoming with me." For a moment, time froze. Then came the reaction he feared, but hadn't expected to be so harsh. Anna laughed, a short, incredulous laugh that silenced everyone around them. Her friends joined in, whispering and giggling as she composed herself. "Oh, Jake, that's sweet, but—" She paused, smirking as she looked him up and down. "That's just not gonna happen." Jake felt his face burn with embarrassment as she and her friends walked away, leaving him standing there feeling like every eye in the hallway was on him. He walked home that day in a daze, the memory of their laughter ringing in his ears. That night, he resolved that he would prove to himself, if no one else, that he wasn't just some kid who was easily dismissed. He'd turn that moment into fuel for something greater. Jake threw himself into his studies with renewed intensity, earning the top GPA in his class. He found an unexpected passion in coding, spending hours learning to build apps and websites. The high school years went by quickly, and by graduation, Jake had been accepted into a top-tier computer science program. He left town for college, promising himself he'd move forward without looking back. Through university, Jake continued to excel. By his junior year, he launched a small tech startup with two of his classmates. They created an app that helped small businesses optimize their online presence, and after a few months, it started gaining serious traction. By the time Jake graduated, his app had over 1 million users, and major companies were reaching out to partner with him. Jake's startup quickly expanded, attracting investors and growing a team of talented engineers and marketers. Soon his company was a recognized name in the industry, and Jake had earned a reputation as one of tech's most promising young CEOs. At 26, he was running a multi-million-dollar business, a story featured in top magazines, and invitations to speak at tech conferences poured in. One year, his high school reunion invitation arrived. At first, he hesitated, but a part of him was curious to see how much things had changed, and to prove, if only to himself, that the years since that humiliating day had transformed him. On the evening of the reunion, Jake entered the high school gym, now decorated with streamers and banners. Familiar faces greeted him, some with surprise, others with recognition and admiration. People flocked to hear about his life, his company, and his achievements. It felt good to be there, to see how far he'd come. And then he saw her. Anna Summers, still beautiful, but with a more subdued confidence than he remembered. She was speaking to a small group, but her eyes flicked over to him, widening slightly as she recognized him. "Jake." She approached him, a smile forming on her face. "Wow, you look incredible. I heard about everything you're doing. Congratulations." "Thanks, Anna," Jake replied, a calm smile on his face. "It's been a long road." They chatted for a while, exchanging stories about old classmates and reminiscing. She laughed at his jokes, lingering a little longer on him with each passing glance. Then, almost hesitantly, she looked up at him with a wistful smile. "You know," she said softly, "I think about that time you asked me to homecoming. I feel terrible about how I reacted. I was young and, well, I wasn't exactly kind. I'm sorry, Jake." Jake regarded her for a moment, and he could see the sincerity in her eyes. In the past, this apology would have been all he needed. But now, with everything he had accomplished, he felt that he had long since made peace with it. "Thank you, Anna. he replied, genuine. But honestly, I think that moment pushed me to be who I am today. I'm grateful for it. Anna looked at him, her smile faltering slightly, as though she realized something had changed. She excused herself to talk to some other friends, and Jake watched her go, feeling a sense of closure wash over him. The reunion ended, and as Jake drove home, he thought about how far he had come since those high school days. He wasn't the shy, awkward kid anymore. The boy who had once been humiliated and dismissed was now a successful man with a bright future and countless opportunities ahead. In the weeks that followed, Jake continued to grow his company, expanding into new markets and taking on bigger projects. He never forgot the lessons he learned back in high school, the value of resilience, hard work, and the importance of self-worth. He knew now that his journey wasn't about proving anyone wrong. It was about proving to himself that he was worthy, and that he was capable of achieving greatness. Years later, Jake found himself invited to give a commencement speech at his old high school. Standing on that stage, he looked out at the sea of young faces and felt a sense of gratitude for his journey. He shared his story not as a tale of revenge or vindication, but as a testament to the power of perseverance and self-belief. Jake concluded his speech with a message that had taken him years to learn. Success isn't about how others see you, it's about how you see yourself. Don't let anyone else define your worth. You are more capable than you realize. The applause was deafening, and as he stepped off the stage, he felt lighter than he had in years. He had moved beyond the past, becoming the person he was always meant to be, strong, confident, and truly successful.